The Democrats are becoming increasingly concerned that Donald Trump is becoming a dictator and seeking revenge against his political opponents. However, is some of that actually deserved? And that's exactly what's being discussed today, with Bill Maher being completely shocked by Christopher Rufo on this same topic. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment on this video so we can break through the algorithms. Here we go.
What are the panel's thoughts on the FBI searching John Bolton's home this morning? Is it further evidence that the agency has been politicized? Well, I mean, Trump's comment was, I didn't know about it. I had nothing to do with it. And then he said something like, I might ask for it, but I just think this is better. It's not about us thinking it's better. The president is not supposed to do things like that.
So when we talk about, the agency being politicized, was it politicized when they searched Mar-a-Lago, right? When the feds were released on Donald Trump's residence and they searched through Melania's drawers, all right? Did Bill Maher decry that when it happened?
He's not supposed to be involved with that. He thinks he's doing us a favor. Plus, I don't even believe it. I mean, even if he didn't specifically say to Pam Bondi, look into exactly. I mean,
they know what they're supposed to do.
They know
what pleases him. Yes.
That's right.
This is actually kind of funny because that's the same argument that Rush Limbaugh used to make about Barack Obama, right? All of his appointees at the IRS, at the DOJ, right? They all agreed on the same ideology, so you didn't have to actually give them marching orders. They knew what to do. And here it is, of course, being accused of with Donald Trump. But it's only okay when the Democrats do it, apparently.
I'll take the other side. I think it's a good thing. And let me explain why. Let me explain why. Because look, you look at basic game theory. When President Trump ran for office the first time, his big chant at the rally was "Lock her up." I was a little bit like, this seems a little extreme, not sure how I feel about this, but after he won, he said something very interesting. He said, that was a campaign thing, Hillary's fine, we're gonna all move on. And he didn't actually seek to prosecute his political opponents. But now, over the last 10 years, we've had Russiagate.
Look at this guy's face, right? He's thinking right now, is that true? Was Donald Trump actually trying to heal the country after a very heated and contested election? And him and Bill Maher are actually both stumped because they know that's exactly what happened. Donald Trump said, okay, that was just campaign rhetoric. We're not really going to lock her up. We're not really going to prosecute her, although he should now 100%, because what did they turn around and do? Oh, they marred 3 years of Trump's presidency with Russia hoax collusion investigations, all of which, of course, were started by the Hillary Clinton campaign.
We've had investigations, we've had indictments, we've had arrests, we'd had the mugshot, we'd have a bullet through his ear, we had him stripped.
I don't think we can.
What does the bullet through his ear have to do with it?
The bullet, I don't think, is something we can blame on the Democratic Party.
All right. Okay. Even so.
There's no point of connection between the bullet in his ear and what happened to John Bolton's house this morning.
No,
let me guess there.
not.
I'm warming up to this, guys. Come on. He was the most persecuted political figure in American history. And the idea is, if you get into office and you do nothing, you're sending a signal to Democrats that Republicans will never fight back, there's no downside consequence. You can knock out a Republican, just like they did with Nixon, anytime they want. Okay, let's take the bullet out for sake of argument. You have him stripped of his ability to actually do business in New York. I mean, tit for tat is a way to recalibrate the system, to get back to parity, and over time, if people play it intelligently, I think you get an actually healthier political system.
So this, of course, is the important point, getting back to that political parity, all right? Because the Democrats come out and persecute Republicans consistently, and we don't do anything in return, then, of course, they're going to keep doing it, okay? And by the way, when I talk about the political persecution against Donald Trump, right, we're talking about the Georgia RICO case with election interference, supposedly, all right? Then you have the New York assault case, where, don't forget, New York actually changed its laws for 1 year just so they could specifically bring that case against Donald Trump. Then, of course, you have the New York hush money case. Then, of course, you have the New York mortgage fraud case. Then you have the federal cases of the classified documents. And, of course, the investigation into January 6th and election interference. Okay? So all of that was political persecution against Donald Trump himself. But they also went after Donald Trump's associates, right? Don't forget Michael Flynn. Don't forget Rudy Giuliani. Don't forget all of the lawyers who they actually disbarred simply for being Donald Trump's lawyers. So you can say all you want that Donald Trump is now seeking retribution, but do people actually deserve it in some of these cases? Was all of this stuff purely political just to get back at a man that they really, really hated? All right, because that's exactly where we're at right now. Donald Trump is trying to right many wrongs that were done against him, and in my personal view, correctly. Do it through the court system if you have actual evidence, because that's exactly what they did to him with no basis, with no foundation in fact or truth. And of course, as far as the bullet through the ear goes, don't forget that we had 24/7 negative coverage against Donald Trump in the mainstream media, calling him basically a dictator, the next Hitler, right? The worst person in the world. So of course you're going to have the crazies come out of the woodwork and try something, which of course may have been their plan to begin with, okay? And all of this is stuff that Donald Trump has been facing.
And last point, John Bolton, very smart person to start with because everybody hates John Bolton. Conservatives, Republicans,
So that's
when did that become part of a criminal case? Everybody hates this person.
Exactly.
So, I mean, and by the way, you're saying.
Of course, you can bring criminal charges against him if he's done something criminal, right? And right now, allegedly, he's been communicating top secret information unsecurely to foreign entities, right? And that, of course, is what he's being investigated for. And what Christopher Rufo is actually mentioning is, yeah, it's not a bad place to start because nobody likes this guy, right? He was a big right-wing warmonger and the left hated him. And then, of course, he turned on Donald Trump and now MAGA hates him. So why not start with this guy and say, see, not political because I go after anybody who's actually breaking the law.
Not to pick a fight, but you're saying they did it to Nixon. Are you now saying that Nixon did nothing wrong and was wrongly pursued? Yeah, no, I think if you look at the history of Watergate, you see that it was a setup from start to finish. You know, 4 of the 5 Watergate burglars, listen, 4 of the 5 Watergate burglars were connected with the CIA, were connected with the FBI. You had the Judge Sirica, who had backdoor meetings violating the law, out to get Nixon. And the tapes and everything he said on the tapes, and was that a hoax? No, but look, Nixon had no... One point. Was Nixon aware of the Watergate break-in before it occurred? I'm sorry? Was Nixon aware? Did he plan the Watergate break-in? Did he have knowledge of it prior to the break-in? I don't know. Actually, I can't access... I don't know. Sure. I mean, I think... And this will be an unpopular opinion at this table, maybe with this audience, but in time, I think we're going to see Nixon vindicated and the history around Nixon will be changed. Yeah.
That was a long time ago, but I mean,
was Nixon engaged in a cover-up?
There was smoking guns on that tape.
So I'm not a Watergate expert, but I do know that Nixon had no previous knowledge, at least that was mentioned on all of these tapes, all right? What they basically got Nixon ousted for was for trying to cover it up after it happened. Okay, and that's as far as my knowledge goes. Okay, you can have him saying all of these other things on tape about homosexuality, which is actually quite hilarious. Right? You can have him saying all that other stuff, but guess what? He didn't do. He didn't plan a break-in. Okay, that was not him. And history will make whatever they want out of all of that stuff moving forward. But yes, the main point here is Donald Trump is actually in the right for pursuing his political opponents if they've actually done things that were illegal. Right? There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And why do I know? Because the Democrats did it without any evidence, and they only had the purpose of destroying Donald Trump. And now Donald Trump can get back at them for actually breaking the law. And if it brings back the parity in the system that is needed to actually have free and fair elections, then I'm all for it. As long, of course, it's actually prosecuted in the proper way, there is evidence, and everyone receives a fair trial. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and say hi to your mom for me. Really good news. There's a Labor Day sale going on at my online t-shirt store. So if you've been waiting to buy something, go ahead and check out these wonderful designs about patriotism and America. And you can also support the channel at the same time. So enjoy yourselves and find something you like today. And don't forget, all of these designs are 100% mother approved.